You're locked in with Atlanta's hottest hip hop station. The Hype 87.3.
Holla!
That's right. It is your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live right here in ATL on the Hype 87.3. And today, what's going on, family? Megaalyfe in the building.
Yeah. What's happening? Megaalyfe, straight like that, man. Straight out the city.
Megaalyfe with 2 A's. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it wrong.
Straight like it's the one and only. You can't clone me.
Thank you for being here today.
Appreciate you having me.
Of course.
It's an honor and a pleasure.
You guys brought through the good energy, positive vibes. That's what I thrive on. You know what I'm saying?
All day, every day. I can't live without it.
Absolutely. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right on in because I got a lot of stuff to ask you today. So growing up between Newport News and ATL, did both environments kind of shape who you are today as a man, as an artist?
110%. So like I said, originally I'm from Bad News, VA, and it says it in the name. Grew up, the typical, grew up in the hood, real tough life. Got myself in a lot of trouble, which ultimately got me to Georgia. And so coming up out here on the north side, that was like Shady Oaks Country Club compared to where I was from. And I was like, so I had to make my mom a promise. She was just like, whatever you do with your life, just graduate from me at least. And so I graduated high school, and just from there, it was just like, like the light switches kind of went off where I was like, I started to want more and do better. And being in Atlanta, something different from Virginia, where it's just more opportunity here, no matter what you want to do.
Correct.
Whether it's entertainment, athletics, just anything, even just regular, everyday 9-to-5 career, it's just better opportunity here.
Yes.
And so I was like, I'd be a fool if I don't take advantage of it.
Absolutely, because it's a major city. And like you said, I feel like, if you at least can get through high school, I'm not forcing nobody to go to college, because I'm a college dropout, and I'm not afraid to or ashamed to admit to that. I had my son at 19 years old, and it was just a juggle between raising him, working, and trying to go to college. It's like you can only do so much. Not to say I couldn't have went back,
right? But
I got into doing this, and I was like, you know what, I'm cool. I love doing this. It's paying the bills.
Right. You found your thing. Like that's it. Like you found your thing,
and you did too through music.
Yes, thankfully. Yeah, it took a while. Like, and I started out doing poetry, and then I was strictly a rapper. Like I knew I had melody, but for whatever reason I was afraid to share like my melody and harmony with the world. Don't know why, but one day I just was like, let me just try, because I needed somebody to do a hook for me.
Yeah. And
I couldn't find nobody who was available to do it, and so I was like, well, let me just try it. And I had let a friend hear it, and they was like, you sound like you featuring you. They was like, how do you sound so different from your rap voice, from your singing voice?
Right.
And it's just me. And I was like, I don't know, God, you know what I mean? And so from there I discovered my harmony, my melody, and it just opened up so many more opportunities for me artistically, and I just ran with it, and I discovered my sound. Megaalyfe was born.
Megaalyfe was born. So you decided to pursue it back professionally in around 2018. I know you were doing stuff before then. What was that turning point that made you say, you know what, let me step it up, go ahead and get my business together and really start taking this seriously?
So the biggest thing, I had linked up with Pimpin' from the Franchise Boys, and he was the first person with real world validation that had heard me, and he told me, he was like, bruh, you fire. He's like, you actually dope. He was like, instead of coming to my studio, I'm gonna show you everything to get. He said, because all you need to do is find your sound.
Yes.
And so he showed me literally piece by piece and sent me clips from YouTube to show me how to even record myself, so I can learn and hone in on my sound. And once I did that, I had wrote this song, and I originally wrote it in the hopes to get it to Usher. And so it was called Bet You Anything. And so I gave it to Pimp, and the Pimp actually gave it to JD. JD really, really liked it, but Usher never even got a chance to hear it. Bow heard it. Bow Wow heard it. And so Bow Wow liked it, and it was something that he was going to use on his project. So I was just kind of like, oh, wow, this is kind of moving, kind of interesting. And I also learned my first lesson in music. Music is a real hurry up and wait kind of business.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and it's the worst thing you can do is just kind of sit on your hands. And so I learned in real time. It was just hey, if I'm waiting for him to, for something to shake, I'm going to just be waiting. And so Pimp was just instead of just waiting to see what's going to happen, he was take that record, build a project around it, and just put it out. And so that's how my first project, Ultraviolet, was born. It was literally like that.
So that's going to actually lead right into what I want to talk about. So Ultraviolet to Dark Mega. How does one to the other reflect your personal growth?
So Ultraviolet was written. I write from a state of transparency, and so Ultraviolet was originally birthed out of a story of mainly 3 different relationships at different times with different ladies.
You like that clarification?
Yeah. With different ladies.
Y'all ain't gonna get him caught up.
Yeah, right.
That was a good one.
One of the concepts was in relation to my children's mom. I have 2 sons with the same mom, and so one was in relation to that relationship. One was in relation to a relationship I had kind of off and on throughout the years periodically, and then the third one was to like this hot, steamy, like microwave romance I had with this lady I had met on Tinder. Yeah, like for real. Yeah, of all places. And it was just like I had all these different emotions and feelings and thoughts.
Y'all getting a real deal today. Did y'all ever know he was on Tinder? Did y'all know he was on Tinder?
They ain't even know that. They were looking like, what? Yeah, they didn't even know it. But yeah, so that's what happened. And I was just like, I have to, like tell this story. And I put them all into one woman. And so the album from track 1 to track 10 is really, I put it as one story, but it's really 3 stories in one.
Got you.
But I painted it all as one woman. Yeah.
That way, none of them can be like, well, he can't be talking about me because I did that, but I didn't do that.
Right.
That was smart.
Right. And
but they gonna know now.
No. Oh yeah, they'll know. Yeah, I'm sure I'll get calls, DMs, and yeah, it's not about me. No. Yeah. So, but then like with Dark Mega, it was me finding myself again because things started to really pick up for me in 2022. I went on the Millennium Tour with Pimp. He brought me along just so I can, find like my love and my passion again. Because, like you go through ebbs and flows with life. And I was just kind of in the lull. And he was like, bro, let's go on the road. Just pack up and let's go. And I was grateful for that. And so him and Parlay took me on the road, and night after night I'm seeing these big shows and these lights, and I'm just like, I discovered my love for music again. And then as fate would have it, that next year took some real personal losses. And one of my best friends, my brother Eric Kuhn, we had lost him. And he was one of my biggest fans, like just as a brother. He's that person I've never had to ask him to post, share, tell anybody about my music. He did it off the muscle. Like, you can go to his pages now that are still up, and my songs are all over there. And he's one of the few people that was really like that. And he loved when I discovered I had R&B and rhythm in my music. He'd go crazy over it. And so it was just like, there's no way I could, come back and do a project and just not, be honest. And I was just like, while I'm still, a lover at heart, I'm like, I'm also a scorn lover. I'm also a torn lover. Like, I'm also like indecisive about things at this stage. I'm like, but I have to, share it with the world because I've been through, other romances since that time period. And I was just like, I'm in more of a darker space. It's not as happy and feel good, but I was just like, it's just my truth.
No better way to do it than through your music, right?
Every time. So that's how we got the Dark Mega.
I feel like as an artist, you have to be slightly vulnerable with your music because that's where people can relate to it more.
Facts.
That's how people know you're speaking your truth, and they're going to respect you more because you ain't talk. I mean, that's cool to have a few songs here and there that are kind of like cap a little bit because they good for the clubs and stuff. But I feel like when you speak in your truth, you draw on your most organic fan base.
Every time.
So you blend like soulful R&B, blues, funk, little bit of pop. How do you approach like bending or blending these genres when it comes to your songwriting? So I tell people all the time, it's like the movie, look, of course I would forget that this movie. It's like Rain Man. Rain Man. Yep. So remember Dustin Hoffman's character? Yeah.
So it's like Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise character in one. It's like the Tom Cruise character in me, like that version of me, which is like the marketer in me, is just like, hey, I know what I want to do, but I don't know necessarily how to get there.
Yes.
So I tap into like this Dustin Hoffman beautiful mind version of me where it's just like, it's really unexplainable to me, and subconsciously I allow my literal subconscious to kind of take over what I'm searching for, and I have all kind of beats from producers all over, and I just like I feel like I want to make this specific type of record like about this room, for example. Like I said, how I see, like the aesthetics. I see fresh, I see clean, I see feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like beautiful woman. Like, and if I say I want to put that into a record, so I know how to market it, but then subconsciously I'll say, what does that sound like? I try to put it in sound, and when I tell you I don't know how I do it, but I just do it, and it just works every time. I blow these guys' mind every time, like when we get in the studio, and I'll be like, bro, I got some more heat for y'all. They're like, bro, no way. And we start cooking up, and they look, and they be like, bro, how do you come up with this? And I'm just like, man, it's just like one of those true gifts from God. Like, it's just kind of unexplainable.
You're not forcing it. It's just coming very organically.
I don't force it. They like, again, that's something else they'll tell you. Like there's songs where I've tried it and I'm just like, I don't feel the execution. I'll move on from it. I'll sit with it. I'll let it sit for a year plus and come back to it, and I'll find my cadence and my feel again. Yeah. Because I don't believe in forcing anything.
Absolutely. Tell us about this music festival that you did. You already perform at, or it's upcoming?
So I was gonna say, yeah. So yeah, last year we did the Crease Festival. That was my first
Crease Festival.
Yeah,
Where is that at?
In Indy. That's in Indy.
Okay.
Yeah. That was And so like that was like the biggest stage I had been on performing year to date. And I was so grateful. Like I said, shout out to my brother's franchise for the opportunity. It was me, franchise, DYK, Digital Young Kings, Jug Man, you know what I'm saying, Young Ralph, y'all know who that is. And we knocked those people's socks off. Like, I came out in the middle of the set, and it was just like, as I'm watching, because, you know, a lot of fans don't necessarily know what goes through an artist's mind on stage.
Right.
And with me, while I can sing my songs, you know, like word for word subconsciously, I don't have to think about it. It's a muscle memory reflex. But what I'm actively doing, I'm looking around and I'm focusing. I'm finding out who's jamming out the hardest, what's going on. And when you start to see people pull phones out, and it's like, oh, they're trying to Shazam this.
Right.
And I saw it happening in real time, and it's always so gratifying to see that. And it's just like, wow, these people in Indy don't know me from a can of paint. First time hearing me, and within the first 15 to 20 seconds of hearing the beat drop, they're already trying to Shazam it, and then they're recording me, and then when you get people turning around trying to take pictures, and so I'm gravitating to that. I'm feeding off of the energy in the crowd. And so that was my experience there, and they treated us wonderful too.
So looking back at that whole entire experience, if you were presented that opportunity again, would you do anything differently? Would you approach it differently?
Just knowing what I know now for my own stage show, I would probably just take that next step in just presenting even more with my own presentation.
Yes.
Like maybe I'll have like dancers with me, and maybe like I've always had this dream of like I want to you know how you go to a basketball game and they have like the t-shirt cannon? I'm like, I want t-shirt cannons on stage. Yeah, I'm like, I want I want a t-shirt cannon.
Yeah.
It just adds to the to the show, to the theatrics of it all. And so that's probably like the one thing I would really change.
Absolutely, because you got to have some form of merch, and especially like you said, them t-shirt cannons where it's shooting out into the crowd, everybody trying to grab it.
Right, and it's a great look.
Yes.
It's engaging with the fans.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's just like people are like, oh wow, like they don't get that all the time. Even at the biggest shows in the world, they don't necessarily just get t-shirt cannons. Right.
No, absolutely. So what would you say working with Pimpin' was like the main thing that he really taught you that still sticks with you today?
Like I said, knowing when to turn it off and on.
Okay.
You know, like I even had to learn from him several times. Like he went from I'm bro to I'm back in pimping mode.
Gotcha.
I had to learn it in like real time sometimes, and that was like the absolute biggest thing. And knowing in certain rooms how to move with and around certain people. And like that was such an invaluable lesson because that has gotten me places where my talent wouldn't have even been permitted without me just showing people like, no, we're watching how this guy moves.
Correct.
And then they get back around to me, hey bro, they really rock with you. And they want you to come here because they seen how you move in the room. They appreciate that. Yeah. And so that professionalism and understanding the difference between artist and friend, like that, it's invaluable.
Absolutely, because there's a time and a place for everything, like they say, right?
Big facts.
And it's like, it's not being fake or phony, but there's some environments or rooms you're in, you got to either tone it down a little bit, tone it up a little bit, kind of keep it neutral, just because based upon, you got to be adaptable. Yeah. Like a chameleon. Yeah. You want to be able to fit in any environment, still keeping it true to yourself, but be able to fit in. You don't want to walk into a room, bunch of full execs going in to turning up and acting a nut, right?
Some of my favorite moments, like I said, being around everybody is just like, I know like when fans are around and it's like, oh, here's Bow Wow, here's Franchise, here's Mario, here's Travis Porter, and here's Scrappy, everybody. And it's just like the fans aren't here to see me at this point. So it's just like, why am I trying to hurry up and get in that picture? No, I'll offer to take the picture. Like those are the things you have to know and understand, where it's just like this not your moment. You shouldn't try to grandstand that moment. Step aside, let them rock out. They're here to see them. Like, you know what I mean? And those are the things that has gotten me so far, just knowing, when to choose my spots.
Absolutely, because people will remember that and they'll respect that. Like we got to know our role in that moment and be okay with it. Because if we're not okay with it, then we don't need to be there.
Listen to me, Tampa, I've been everything. I've been the store runner. I've been the security guard. I've been the babysitter. I've been the, hey, hold this guy. Like, I've been like seriously, I've been at, hey, my girl right here, you know what I'm saying? She trying to get to the bathroom. Could you walk her through the crowd? Like, I've been whatever I needed to be, you know what I mean, to secure my spot. Yeah, like people don't want to pay their dues.
Sometimes even when you are in that position, we still got to step down a little bit if it requires us to. Like, example, before I got my own studio, I was actually an executive at another studio, and I was helping them run the whole studio. And I remember a fairly well-known artist came through, and I ain't gonna say who it was, but him and his whole camp were treating me like I was the intern. They came up to me and gave me a list of stuff like this, saying, hey, can you go to the store and buy all this stuff? And I'm like, I'm not the intern here. I'm like, I'm running the studio. But guess what? I still did it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I'm not too prideful when it comes to certain things.
Right.
Because now maybe next time they'll remember we're gonna treat her a little bit better. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, every now and again, we got to humble ourselves and step down, per se.
Like I said, I had some times where it's like, hey, bro, you can't, you know what I'm saying? We kind of got some people with us, so you ain't going to be able to ride in the back like normally comfortable.
Yeah.
You might have to ride in the front with the driver. I didn't have to do it. Like, so now I'm just sitting here.
Good.
It's all good. Like, it's cool. Like, y'all bro, say less.
So you mentioned how Dark Mega came about and the reasons why, but what did it mean to you personally and artistically upon the release of the project?
So personally, it meant that, like, literally, this is my first official project since Ultraviolet, which is something I had been, you know, waiting on for some years to be like, am I actually going to do it? So it was like getting that literal, like, monkey off my back where I'm just like, it's out there. Like, personally, it's just like, it just feels good to just share my truth with the world. And professionally, this is my first project working with, like I said, like the bros Next God and Lady Mo, 5DMG, and like collaboratively, we all put this together. And so this was something where it's like not only trusting myself, but, you know, you're trusting someone who, you know, I've known them for some years, but professionally, this is our first time really like locking in and working together. So you have to trust them to, you know, do what they do. And I couldn't be more pleased with how the project has came out. Early reviews are great, and then just to see, just in this 24-hour turnaround, it's been gratifying to see your work vindicated instantly. How
important is it to have a phenomenal audio engineer and or producers to work with when you're putting your heart and your soul into an album?
It's everything. It's like I don't know what other analogies like to use, but it's like having a proverbial parent in the room with you, seriously, because you know, as an artist, you know, we can get out there sometimes, like we can jump off the ledge sometimes, and so you need that other voice to kind of say, hey, it's cool to try it, let's see how it works. Now let's try this one and see how this one works. And so, like, you know, trusting each other and appreciating each other for what you both can bring to the table, that's how you get the best product. And like I said, and just having somebody who's just that dope and with a different ear, and sometimes in some cases even a better ear for certain sound than you. You know what I mean? Because like you may know melodies and whatnot, but when it comes to like that deep cut engineering, there's certain things that as an artist you may miss because your head's just full of ideas.
Correct. So that's having a good audio engineer, and then I feel like having a great producer as well is oftentimes they'll bring you out of your element. They're gonna be the one to encourage you to rap or sing on a beat that you may not have chose, and that could end up being your biggest record.
So several,
you know what I'm saying?
Several times. Like prime example, the song "So In the Dark." This is a, you know, like exclusive. So In the Dark almost didn't make the project. For anybody who's hearing this and they're like, what? The In the Dark version that you're hearing is not the In the Dark version that I had finished at first. It was literally like we burned the midnight oil. I'm talking about 12, 14-hour sessions, overnight sessions, and for whatever reason I probably recorded this song 4 or 5 times and I just kept missing my mark, and I'm like, I'm too wordy here, I'm not wordy enough here. It's just whatever I felt, I wasn't feeling it. And so the last time I had recorded it, I had just left a skeleton with just a bunch of sounds and options, and I was like, next, see if you can figure it out. I had zero hope for it. Deleted it off my phone because I said it's already dead to me. I already had the next song lined up, which wound up being Baby What's Up. But out of nowhere, Next was like, I finished some versions of these other records. He sent them to me. The very first one that came in was In the Dark. I didn't even play it. I played the next song because I was just like, I don't want to hear this. It's going to be garbage. I played it and I was on 400. And I was just like, I forgot where I was driving to.
Because the song was that good?
Yeah, because I was just, and so I had immediately hit him and was like, bruh, like, what did you do? Like, what was it? And then, like, he was just able to find the pockets that I needed to sit in. And like I said, that goes back to, that's that producer ear and that engineer ear that me as an artist, I just don't have.
Understood.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I call him Professor Next, because, only a real mutant could do that.
Listen, I agree. I have the utmost respect for audio engineers and producers because I feel like, and artists as well, but we're talking about producers and engineers right now because I feel like you have to have the ultimate creative mind because somebody could send you a song and you're like, they're going to turn that into a masterpiece because it reflects back on them on the engineering side, right? Because I'll get artists who send me a song and the mix sounds very rough, so I'll ask them, is it even mixed? Yes. Well, who is your engineer? That's the first question I ask, because maybe I need to have a little talk with this engineer because you could tell when there's that quality mix and master versus something that's very rough. And sometimes I know the artists be lying. They did it themselves and they trying to blame it on a third party. Y'all need to stop that. Stop it.
Right, man. Yeah, man. Brush, find somebody, get you a couple dollars. Worst case scenario, there's online mixing and mastering. That'll still be a better option than just doing it yourself and just sending it out.
It's so weird to me, and I've had artists really, really get upset with me because I will call them on it, and I do it in a polite, professional way. I don't be like, man, that's trash. I had a female artist send me a song, and it was probably the worst quality I've ever heard in my 14 years of doing this. I could hear her smoke detector chirping in the background. And I'm not through the whole song, chirp. So I know that she recorded it. So on her Instagram page, she had several videos of her doing karaoke in like one of them little portable machines. So I'm like, she probably recorded it on there. Smoke detector chirping in the background. So I asked her, I said, who mixed this song for you? I said, it doesn't sound like it's mixed at all. She's like, oh, I did it. I'm thinking I could tell. I said, look, I can't add that in radio rotation. And she called me the B word. And I'm just like, she got completely offended. Take constructive. If you can't handle constructive criticism, get out of this business.
Right, because you're going to get that at every turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, those people. That's how you know instantly you're not an artist. If you're offended by everything and accountable for nothing, that's your first lesson in knowing you're not cut out for this.
Exactly. Yeah. So while we're on that subject, any new young artists just starting out and they don't really know where they're going, this, that, and the third, what would be one hard lesson that you could, put on them that they need to make sure that they're doing jumping into this industry?
I would tell, bruh, save yourself money and time. Don't if you know you're just starting out, don't just go unless you have a friend or a relative where you can just go get studio time and just hone in on your craft. The worst thing you could do for yourself, especially unless you just got money to burn, the worst thing you can do is just go record and just keep spending money at these studios, because those studios, they're they want your money, so they're going to tell you whatever they got to tell you to get your money. They don't care how good your project or record do. So the best thing you could do is get your own equipment, craft and hone in on your own sound, learn who you are as an artist, and then you'll know when you're ready, when people around you don't have to lie to you anymore and tell you this is kind of okay. When you press play, you can look at people, and before people actually react in real time, there is a first reaction that people have. Most of the time when they're impressed, they'll kind of pause, or they'll look up, or they'll start smiling. If someone is just sitting there stone faced when you press play, you're probably not ready yet. And so that's what I'll tell people, get your own equipment and work on your craft, man. I was in the closet for some years with me and my inbox and my PC, and I couldn't afford a Chaotica eyeball, so I took a Nerf ball that I gutted out, the little soft Nerf ball. I gutted out the Nerf ball and I stapled a rag to the front of it because I just couldn't afford it.
Listen, by any means, make it happen.
Facts.
There are ways, and when he says buy your own equipment, that doesn't mean you got to, like you said, buy the top of the line stuff.
No.
Make pawn shops your friend. Because there are people fall on hard times and they go pawn their audio interfaces and good mics and stuff.
I was eBay shawty. I had got everything I needed to record for less than $200. Mic included. Yeah, man. I was eBay shawty.
100%. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. No. I feel like including a decent laptop, you could spend $1,000 or less easily. If that means cutting out smoking weed for a little while, whatever it is, going to the strip club, then that's what it is.
My inbox was, I think inbox was $19. My laptop was a hand-me-down from one of my sister's friends from her old college years. It ain't have a ton of memory, but I was able to delete it to get enough so I can get. My first Pro Tools was a cracked version of Pro Tools.
I'm dead.
You know what I mean? you make it happen when you really want to do it. You know, you can make excuses or you can make it happen.
People make time and effort for what's important to them.
Big facts.
You can't tell me no different. That's facts.
All day, every day. Like, you just learning. Like, are you going to find a way, or are you going to find an excuse?
There you go. Look at the camera and say that.
Are you going to find a way, or are you going to find an excuse?
So you've talked about, an expressed concern, we'll say, for the current state of this music industry, right?
Yeah.
What do you feel like needs to change for like the true and authentic artists like yourself to be recognized more for your hard work, your consistency?
So I think it's two things here. So the first thing is, because the quickest thing to do is just put the onus on the artists that are out.
Yeah.
First of all, you can never be mad at any artist who blows up overnight for whatever reason. You have to like champion and appreciate them, because this is just, they got their chance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They don't pick themselves. Like the fans and the labels and the universe is picking them, so it's their turn. But for me, the biggest thing is the onus has to go back on the real curators and the protectors of the art, that goes from the executives, from the OG artists, the OG producers, the radio people, the podcasters, so on and so forth. The onus, I think, has to fall back somewhat on them.
Yes.
Like, to demand and go back to curating, because people always say, "Oh, we're just giving people what they want." That was never what music was about. Like, dope music was always dope music, and people don't necessarily know what they want. Most people don't even know what they want to eat for lunch, let alone know what they want to hear. Like, and music is an art, and it's universal. Like, and so we have to get back to a well-rounded sound. There's room for everyone and everybody.
Yes.
But we have to get back to balance. I shouldn't turn on the radio and listen to a full day of radio and I only hear 7 songs. Like,
right.
We can't blame the artist for that.
Correct.
That is between the radio people and the label. Like, the labels and the radio, they have to get back to. I remember growing up and we turn on the radio and like one station, I'm literally hearing Tracy Chapman. The next station, I'm hearing DMX. The next station, I'm hearing Babyface. The next station, I'm hearing Temptations. Like, we don't have that. I could turn to 4 stations and we get 3 artists on all 4 stations. Like, that's insane.
Listen, that's why I love what I do with like internet radio, because I've interviewed plenty of big name artists and athletes and etc., which is cool, but I prefer sitting down with people who are still on the rise, because I feel like the underdogs per se need that platform.
Facts.
And I want to feel like I'm a part of their journey. I want to
definitely a part of mine.
Yeah, that way when them plaques start coming in, I could be like, man, I remember that Saturday morning when we sat down and we had that interview. To me, that'll stick with me more and means more to me than interviewing someone that's already like in the major leagues, if that makes sense.
No, facts.
And I feel like more people like me need to be open to doing that. Not saying you can't interview the celebrities. That's cool too. But there's still a lot of people that are on the rise that need this too.
No, and that's something I always felt. And it's like, even if like you're the major, like head DJ at the biggest station in the country, even if you're that person and you feel like maybe interviewing up and comers is beneath you, like, you could still afford them the platform. Maybe have one of your interns sit in as the interview person.
Yes.
So those artists still have access to that platform. Like, that's something that can be done. And obviously time, people's time costs money. Okay, so put a tag on it. Yeah. Whatever that price tag is, those who can afford it, they can afford it and they'll be there. But the fact that the opportunity and the doors just aren't open, that's a problem for the art.
I never want to be that person. I never want to be that person that says, "Nah, they just starting out."
Yeah, it's just.
Hey, if I'm your first interview, beautiful, that's great, because you're gonna always remember me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's such a contradiction, because like, for what you said, you get that a lot of times. They're not ready yet. They're just starting out. Do you know how many times I've turned on like my radio or got on YouTube and I seen so and so who just had a hit record that just went viral 2 weeks ago, and now they're on the Breakfast Club, or now they're on Hot 97, or now they're here. So it's like, you can't tell me they're not ready yet. We know what that really is. You know? I'm
gonna be honest, a lot of these newer and up and coming artists make for a better interview because they're still in that stage where that hunger is there.
Right.
If you and I'm not gonna not picking on a Drake, but we'll say Drake, who's a mega superstar. Everybody knows his story because he's super famous. So it's like, what could I really sit down and pull out of him that people don't already know? You get what I'm saying?
His life plays out every day on the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Versus like I sent you that form. It allows me to curate how I want to conduct the interview, and I feel like I'm good at bringing stuff out of people. But if the whole world knows everything about you, it's like, yeah, that's cool. I had a mega superstar on here, but how great is the interview actually going to be? Right.
And like I said, and there's going to be so many things. Oh, we can't talk about that. Don't want to talk about that.
That too.
I mean, yeah.
They'll come back and want you to delete 100 different clips, and I'm just like, we ain't doing all that.
Yeah, and then the other thing on the artist side, artists, when you're getting on interviews, like, please come for conversation.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other, like one of my icks when I see people, especially on major platforms, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching like a Charlemagne or Envy, and it's like pulling teeth for them trying to carry the conversation, and the artists are just like, yep, nope, I don't know. And it's just like, bro, like,
it's like, do you even want to be here?
Yeah, man. I'm like, bro, like, you taking an opportunity from other people who really like love this and have a real story to tell. If you don't want to tell your story right now, don't tell your story. Tell them no.
He's dropping some gems, y'all, because you are right. Because I have sat down with them before, them type of artists.
Yeah,
that it's like talking to that wall. It's like,
yeah, like, I respect that everybody's not at conversations. I respect it, but then say no to the interview.
Just don't show up.
Yeah, because you're doing yourself, your fans, and you're doing the interviewee a disservice.
100%. So with all that being said, like, how do you personally just really focus on keeping yourself authentic without a lot of artists try to fit in per se, but you stay authentic? You know, what are some of the things that you do to stay authentic versus following trends and things of that nature?
So I've been fortunate. Like, I have like a really, 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 really big family. So since I was a little boy, it was important to find who I was and like be true to that, because it was really quick to get lost in the mix of family, you know, in general. And so that was where it started for me. And then understanding as I wanted to become an artist, like, I was fortunate that I did poetry prior to, you know, really just wanting to do artistry.
Roses are red, violets are blue.
So actually, so what it was something similar, right? But I started way back on MySpace, and it was a way for me to, like, I was like, oh, I was trying to get chicks. And so, like, yeah, like, so MySpace used to have like this little comment section thing where like you could post a comment and people could comment on it. And so I used to do like Poetic Thursdays or Poetic Tuesdays, one of the two.
Were you selling them?
No, I was literally just posting them, and I was letting like all the girls in school know, was like, yo, I'm doing, like, I'm gonna drop another poem today, and I was like, it might be something about you, you know, da 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 da. And
that's dope though.
And so I started doing it, and then a couple of them start commenting, and you know, women are competitive anyways with each other.
Of course.
And so in the comments, you would see one girl would be like, I know this is about me,
right,
and they'd be like, whoever this is above me, that's a lie, it's about me.
That is so funny.
And so as I started to kind of pit them against each other, everybody started to anticipate, well, is he going to drop one Thursday? And so that's kind of how, like, where it started for me. And so I was just like, oh, so this is my lane, you know, like focusing on like women was my lane. And like I said, as a rapper, I was focusing on women, but once I discovered my melody as well, it just made it 10 times harder. Absolutely.
So any of these poems that you wrote, did you ever spin one off and create a song like it?
None of those ones directly, but yeah, none of those directly. But on the Ultraviolet project, the song "Blame Game," that one actually started out as a poem, but that song was directly related to my Tinder date, and it literally starts off, yeah, thought she was a tender love, we met on Tinder, bruh. Breakfast date we hit it off, next date we said it all, like. And that was actually a poem that I was actually going to write to her, but I was just like, let me just put it into music, you know, since I was in the middle of doing this whole project thing.
Yeah.
And she actually did hear the song. She actually loved the record too. Like, to this day, like, she loved the record. Shout out there.
Do you think that writing poetry, like, I believe men should still court women? Not saying you got to do
100%.
anything crazy,
right?
But if it's the woman that you feel like you have a future with, if it's just the girl that you banging them guts, you ain't got to do all that.
I'm glad you said that, because that's the difference. That's the line that some women don't want to accept that is there. Like you said, if a guy who's really interested in you that way, as like, this is my girl, he's going to show you.
He's going to.
If he's not showing you that type of interest, then that's what you are to him. You are side chick or just the homie. Like,
it's sad that a lot of women don't understand that, and that's something that's a hard lesson that women have to learn. That you'll know if this man is interested in you because he's going to show you. He's going to make time. He's going to respond to them texts in a timely manner. He's going to come see. He's going to make efforts. If he's only hitting you up at 2 o'clock in the morning, he doesn't want anything more than that. And that's fine, as long as you can figure that out, or maybe have a transparent conversation up front. Like, look, I'm not looking for more than just, some sex from time to time. And
for those who don't know, A Part of Me and On My Phone is what she's talking about. Those songs directly correlate to what she's talking about right now.
So my question is, like, if you have this woman that you feel like, man, she might be the one, do you feel like writing poetry to women these days is still effective?
I think it could be, because nobody else is doing it. That could be very, very effective. Because one thing I've learned with women love thoughtfulness.
They do. And not even necessarily having a monetary value behind it.
Right. They just love the fact that, you thought this. Most women, anyway.
Most women, yeah. Not, some of them just, can you get my nails did, hair did?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the fact that you thought enough to take the time to write this specific thing. It's a one of one. You know what I mean? Like, that's super special. Fellas, like, take this to heart. You can use it in general. Use it if you're in trouble, for whatever reason. But, that thoughtfulness will go a long way.
What's that one song in your catalog that you feel like didn't get its just due? Like, maybe you thought, hey, this is the one, but it didn't really get the notoriety and the recognition that you thought it would.
For anyone to this point, like Dark Maker just dropped, so that don't count. But anyone in particular, I would probably say my song Heartbeat. Heartbeat was a song that's still maybe the most vulnerable song I released. That song is directly about it was what happened between me and my kid's mom, we were engaged, and then we wound up breaking up, and she moved back to her hometown, with my son, and I think this kind of happened really fast, and so the song was it was a poem to my son,
Okay.
Yeah, and it was just the most. I had actually like kind of teared up when I was actually recording it.
Yeah.
And that's probably the one where it's just like, I'm sure that'll be as my profile continues to grow from my catalog, that'll be one of the ones that people will come back and tell me, hey, I love all your music because all your music is dope, but it's something about that song Heartbeat that it just hits you where, men never, are allowed to feel vulnerable at.
It's super personal to you.
Super personal.
Any plans on getting back out there and doing, festivals, tours, anything like that in the works right now for you?
No, yeah, 100%. Like literally, when we leave here, we have a meeting in about an hour or two to like literally talk strategy and next steps and where we're going.
Okay.
And so, like we're definitely going to keep everybody posted. We do definitely have more shows in the works, more plans. We're definitely doing more interviews, like more performances. We are outside.
We out here. We outside.
Outside.
It's hot.
All summer, fall, winter 2025. We are outside. Yeah.
So
100%.
before we check out this record, 24 hours, right? If anybody wants to follow the journey, follow the movement, where can they follow you on all your social platforms?
You can find me on all socials at Megaalyfe. That is Megaalyfe. That's for IG, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, etc. Megaalyfe. Megaalyfe.
Who do you want to give thanks to that's been really loving you and supporting you through your journey?
First of all, like I said, big thanks to myself.
Yes.
First of all, for like taking left foot, right foot, and just going through and really executing. Second of all, again, shout out to the bros, Next, Liddy Mo, 5DMG. Shout out to my brother, Spider Loke. Shout out to Pimp, Parlay, for always being in my pocket and, like just keeping me focused and showing me what to do. Shout out to all the supporters, man. Shout out to all the supporters. Like anybody who's ever shared anything, whoever dropped a like or dropped a heart, any and everybody. Shout out to TampaMystic for allowing me to come on the platform and show love. Like, yeah, everybody, man, for sure.
Absolutely. And thank you for being here. Thank all y'all for being here today.
It's been an honor and a pleasure.
This is how I like to start my day, with that good energy, positive vibes. Like, y'all kicked my day off right, so thank you.
Straight, like that's the only way, bro. Like, hey, all that negativity, bro, let it go, man. Y'all gotta find out what allows you to let it go. Let it go. For me, it's the gym. I can let it go in the gym. Let it go.
I agree with you. I say that often. Like, of course, we want to be somewhat aesthetically pleasing, but at this point in my life, it's not even so much about that. It's about my mental health, and the gym is like my mental therapy.
Yeah. All day, every day, I come in there. Folks have no idea what I be playing. I'm lifting these heavy weights. I be in there like listening to Otis Redding. Like they have no idea. Or like seriously, I'm in there like listening to Fleetwood Mac. They have no idea. I'm just jamming.
Me too. I'm the same way. My gym playlist be so bizarre. Yeah. But it's what you feeling in that moment. Right. Take it out on the iron. Don't take it out on other people.
Like this man, he's lifting 300 pounds, and Stevie Nicks is in my ear. Like,
let me see you going real quick.
Yeah, like it ain't quite what you got, but I'm getting there.
I'm working on it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just recently went to I increased all my weights because again, at this age of my life, it's so important, ladies. When you get into these years and your hormone levels are plummeting, stay on them weights. It's so important. Otherwise, I feel like if I didn't, I'd probably be the biggest in this room. Honest to God. Now, you know fellas, what I'm saying?
It go the same for us too.
Yeah, because men, men.
You have to lift weights.
You have to. Absolutely.
You have to remember, we were once hunter-gatherers. We had to fight and claw for our meals, people. You know, because we live in a life of luxury now where we get the convenience of microwaves and TV dinners, etc., we forget that we still have to be active. Like, activity is everything.
Facts. That is facts. And we ain't as resilient as we was when we was 18.
Right, yeah, like that. Yeah, the metabolism been slowed down a little bit.
Boy, it's a struggle.
Right. Some of y'all got type 2. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be active out here.
I would love. You should come back and we can have a whole conversation just about that. Because that's like hitting my spot of where I'm at in life right now. Is that health journey so important?
110%.
Yeah, man. So let's get into this record.
Okay.
Introduce it for us.
Yeah. So it's your boy Megaalyfe, straight out of ATL, man. And I just dropped my new project, Dark Mega, and the first single is 24 Hours. Tap in.
Y'all stay tuned for it.
You're locked in with Atlanta's hottest hip hop station.